It's the Wait a Minute show.
Bruh, ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and we are back in the building for another episode, so I hope you're ready to go. We're not going to waste any time, so let me go ahead and get this guy out the way. Lopan is in the building.
Indeed.
Thank you for chiming in. That's all we got time for Lopan. So we got NBA news, because NBA, the regular season is going to be starting next week. NFL Week 6 talk, and we got an owner who's saying F with me if you want to. So we'll talk about that and more, but we're going to start this thing off in the NBA, and just recently announced by Adrian Wojnarowski, Woj, as some people would refer to him as, Jordan Poole of the Golden State Warriors has signed, or will be signing, and they'll make it official pretty soon here, but will be signing an extension, 4 years for $140 million, Lopan.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed as well. So Jordan, look, this was no surprise that Jordan was going to get paid. Now, some people may have debated whether the Warriors was going to pay Jordan or they were going to pay Draymond. I didn't believe that if they had to make a choice that they would choose Draymond over the situation, and simply because Draymond is further along in his career. He's more closer to the end of his career than Jordan Poole is, but also the offensive firepower that Jordan Poole provides, right? So he had a great year last year and helping them win the championship, averaging 18 points a game along with 4 assists. So look, that's going to get eyes out there. That's going to, change the dynamic for a Golden State Warriors team. So I think he got this deal, or I feel he got this deal because of the dynamic that is changing. Klay Thompson, Steph, I know people may not want to hear this, but yes, they are getting older, right? So all the assistance that they can get through the regular season and get ready for the playoffs, yes. Now, I'm not saying they're dinosaurs or anything like that, but someone with the dynamic that Jordan Poole brings to the table, along with kept Andrew Wiggins, you got Wiseman, and you got other guys, that's on this team. This is going to continue the upward trajectory of the Golden State Warriors and us talking about if they could possibly be a dynasty over the term that they have. I know people are going to say, wait. How are you going to bring up that? Look, if you don't want to call it a dynasty, let's just talk about the continued success that they have created. So this is going to give them the continued success. And they want to be an offensive firepower team. They also will be predicated on defense, and that is something that Draymond did. But I think long run, as far as like making the decision, you had to go with Jordan Poole. It was a no-brainer. And if you look at what he did last year and watching those games, Jordan was pulling up with the green light for a lot of those shots, right? So it wasn't like he was taking shots and then they sit him on the bench saying, yo, you can't do that, young fella. No, they said, go ahead, do your thing. Talk your ish, young fella. And that's exactly what he did. And they're going to be looking at him to continue to get better, continue to grow, and continue to be a contributor, even more of a contributor on this team going forward with the Golden State Warriors. So this is not about Draymond or anything about this. This is about the last 4 years as far as like what Jordan Poole has accomplished. Coming in at the end of the first round out of Michigan, there were some question marks, with him. He answered all those question marks. Also, I feel that he fits what Golden State does very well. I don't think you just take Jordan Poole and move him to another team and he continues to do the things that he's doing. He's going to be a baller and he's going to be able to play. Everybody knows he can play in this league. But when you're under a system and when you're under something that will cater to what you do well, again, what you do well, that is all that makes more benefit than anything else that's out there. So I'm not surprised that he got the money. I knew he was going to get the money. 4 years, $140 million. Get your money, young man, and go out there and keep balling, because this is going to keep the Golden State Warriors competitive, and they know that. So there's no surprise that Jordan Poole got paid. Now, what may be a surprise Maybe not, to hear to the Wait a Minute show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie, which you're watching on YouTube right now. Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. But Dan Snyder, yeah, making news. He's supposed to be on break or on vacation away from the team, but still being relevant, still being talked about. And just recently, the past couple days, it was brought up that Dan Snyder is basically telling the NFL and Roger Goodell, mess with me if you won't. F around, find out. Or what is it? Find out, F around, or whatever. That's the new trend that's out there right now. So he's saying that he got dirt on some owners. He got some dirt on Roger Goodell. And if somebody want to come and see him, come see him. Now, he's mentioned in this report, they're talking about, he mentioned Jerry Jones. And, Jerry Jones is not going to leak out or lead with, blast back at Dan Snyder. That's not his style. That's not the way he's gotten to where he's gotten by doing that, by being sloppy or anything like that. So you're not going to get anything from Jerry as far as like on the front end. Now, behind the scenes, maybe Jerry might have called him and said, yo, son, you better watch that. I don't know, but it could be. But on the front end, that's not going to happen. So the real thing really is, and the real question about this is, does Dan Snyder really have some dirt on the NFL and Roger Goodell? I do believe that he does have something, because I don't think there's anybody, I don't think the entire league and entire owners and everybody is completely clean of whatever. It's something, is it somebody jaywalking? Yeah, you may have that. I don't know. We don't know what the depth or the degree is of it. But I do believe this is a situation with Dan Snyder as far as like, hey, that they're coming after you. People are coming after you. There's probably been rumblings about getting him out of the league after the investigation for the workplace environment, after all the stuff that happened with the name and him not wanting to change the name, and after, getting into it with, there's supposed to be a new stadium that's being built. That didn't happen. That fell through. And him just saying, I'm not selling the team. He has fought this tooth and nail year in and year out. So I do believe that there are some people that want Dan Snyder out, and he knows that. And look, I have to build my wall. I have to build my fortress to combat this, because they're trying to get me out of here. So what do? Hey, I hire some private investigators. Hey, I got some stuff on Roger Goodell. Hey, I got some stuff on some owners. I don't want to say no names right now, but you come and see. Okay. If you got it, because don't go out there talking about it and then you ain't going to share it. That's what people are going to be looking at. Then go ahead. Drop some names. What's going to happen if you drop a name? What's the worst that's going to happen to you? Right? So it's really the magnitude. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is, people have thought about it maybe as a scare tactic or anything like that. And I don't think it's a scare tactic. I think it's just a tactic, if you will, to keep the heat, off of him. Does he know something about the owners? Yeah, of course. They're all, talking, and people talk, and you hear different stuff, and how much of it is valid, how much it is truthful, and how much that you can prove yourself. That is the real question on it. Because I don't want to hear something about, you talking about, hey, I got some dirt on Roger Goodell, and you talk about when he cheated on a test in college or whatever. Nobody's going to care about that. So if you're talking about you got something, you better have something, right? And you better share it. That's how we know. Because you can just easily talk with Roger Goodell and say, look, this is what I got, son. All right? So if you don't want this to get out, if you don't want this to happen, then you need to fall back. Change up a little bit, change your lip, change your attitude a little bit. To the other owners, hey, this is what I got, yo. Yeah, that's you. That's you in that picture, B. Yeah, that's you. And if we start seeing people fall back, people not saying as much and all that stuff, then it's like, oh, snap. Dan got some heat, right? But if ain't nobody moving, ain't nobody shook, then, what hotness do you have? So that's all I'm going to say about that is that, look, until you start sharing what you got, because when you go around, as the reports were saying about don't F with me and everything, so you saying, try me. Well, let's see if someone tries you, and then what it is that you say. Because on one hand, you can see why this would be what they're calling a scare tactic, because you're trying to keep your team. You're trying to fight off, whatever strategy or whatever tactic that the NFL may do to remove you from your team. So I in this particular case, because when you're saying it, then I want to see some dirt. Give me a little bit that will, shut somebody up. I ain't saying you got to go and drop the big fish, but because at the end of the day, also, what do you benefit from it, right? Because if you put that out, then you're really going to alienate yourself, from everyone, and they're probably going to try even harder to get you out. So I don't know. I don't know if this is, beneficial. It's not beneficial for either side, if you ask me. But don't be putting stuff out, man, and you ain't gonna share nothing, man. You ain't gonna do nothing, right? Right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna move on, and we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back from the break, we'll get into week 6 of the NFL. And here at the Wait a Minute Show, we got a fantasy football league. So we're going to talk to 2 individuals that entered the zone of beef week, and we'll find out how that went. So when we get back, we'll talk about that and more. It's the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. We'll be back after a few words. Let's go, Lopan.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkandcolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkandcolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drink and Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott, the owner, at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go on Facebook and Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you are listening to
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
now here on the YouTube channel by way of the waitaminuteshow.com. So you see it going on right below the ticker, if you will, for week 6. We already got Thursday game in the books. Now we got the rest of week 6 that's going to be played. So my 3-pack, I always give you 3 games that, we should be looking at that should be interesting for that week. So we'll get into the first one. The first one, I want to see this is just if they can keep up the momentum, right? And that is the Baltimore Ravens versus the New York Giants. Giants are 4-1. We don't need to talk about no stats. We don't need to talk about, all that other stuff. They are 4-1. That's all that matters. And they are going up against the Baltimore Ravens team with Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a task. I want to see how the Baltimore Ravens how the New York Giants are going to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Now they lost to Dallas. That was a tough one. And they got some, nice wins against some other teams. Tennessee, I think they beat who did they beat, Lopan? I think they beat Washington, but regardless, Green Bay. That's what I was trying to think of. They beat Tennessee and they beat Green Bay just last week. They got a big win off that. So will that momentum carry over? Will the new coach Dabble continue the success that he's been having with this team? So that's what I want to see. I want to see if Saquon Barkley is still on this revenge tour, and how the New York Giants, the New York football Giants, son, holds up against the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be an excellent matchup. Now we're going to move on to the second game, which is not probably going to be the most watched game, which I still don't understand why it's not, flexed into Sunday night, but it is what it is. Or why the game, sorry, let me say that right. It's not flexed into Sunday night. I'll save that for later. The one that is flexed into Sunday night is the Eagles versus the Cowboys. This is going to be a hot matchup as well. Now, if Dak Prescott had been back, he's not back. They got him listed as questionable. I don't think he's going to play this week at all. Again, I still feel that the games that the Cowboys have won, they're still playing with house money. You do want to be a division rival, but to be safe and for the long run, yeah, let Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush hasn't did anything to have caused the Cowboys to lose a game. So why would you do anything any different? He's not a liability. He's out there contributing. He's helping. The defense is glorious. They are, a threat. And you're going to be going up against a division rival where anything, can happen. So the Eagles being undefeated, obviously we're going to see if the Eagles, lose their first game. This matchup, just for the sole fact that it's a division matchup, is something to watch. But now, because you got an undefeated team against a one-loss team, yeah, I want to watch that. And you got Eagles fans, which are crazy. You got Cowboy fans, which are crazy. I don't even know if one is crazier than the other. And it's going down in Philadelphia. So it's going to be electric. Electric, right? I just hope they don't disappoint either. Again, we don't need to get into stats and all that stuff. Jalen Hurts has been on a tear. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, they have their games. It's not anything that's consistent, but you always getting contribution from someone on the Eagles. The same way for the Cowboys, you're getting contributions from someone different. And this is the division. It doesn't matter. It's just who's going to win. I just hope this thing don't be a dud or anything like that, and we don't get anything close to Thursday's game. Where we didn't get any offense that was going on. So, and I don't think we'll get that. So that is the second one. But I think the most watched game this week by far will be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. This is the game I was talking about. I felt should have been flexed into the Sunday night spot. But I don't make those decisions, so it doesn't matter.
Indeed.
Be quiet, Lopan. So this game is a rematch from last year's playoff matchup where it was one of the best playoff matchups before, right? I'm not even going to waste a lot of time on it. Now, Tyreek Hill is not there. It seemed like it doesn't matter because the Chiefs has only lost one game. Buffalo has only lost one game as well. I told you that they were on this revenge tour where they are trying to take down anybody and everybody that is in their way. And this is probably the team that they've been waiting for and wanting the most, right? Buffalo, let's be honest. They felt like they let Kansas City off the hook. They felt like had we just got a stop or two, we're sitting in the Super Bowl because I believe Buffalo probably would have beat Cincinnati. Not guaranteed, but I do believe that they probably would have beat them. So, they're just like, we let that game get away, and that ruined our season. So we got to go ahead and get some get back on this. Kansas City, they're proving right now, hey, yeah, Tyreek is gone. We still got this machine. It's going to keep rolling. This is going to be the biggest test that they've had all year. And this is going to be it's not going to be back and forth like it was in that playoff game. I don't think you can rematch that. But I do think that this matchup will be another one that we'll be talking about. And it's going to be a good game. So I think that one should have been at the 8 o'clock. But, some folks be like, man, I'm going to bed. You better not go to bed. So they left it at the 425 spot. But it's the only game at the 425 spot. So at least you're kind of getting, it got its own thing because it's going to start later. Because you only got one, I think you only got one or two 405 games that's going. Actually, it's right there on the ticker that just passed by. So you only got a few, 405 games because a lot of teams are on bye. So they're kind of going to get their own spot anyway. So tune in to those games. Giants, Ravens, Cowboys, Eagles, and of course, Chiefs versus Bills. Those are going to be the matchups to watch out for week 6. Now, speaking of week 6, man, the Wait a Minute Show has a fantasy football league, man, and people be beefing in this league. So I, being the gracious person that I am, I give them an opportunity to get some stuff off their chest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you, maybe for the first time, you might have seen, some clips out there, but I'm going to introduce to you Beef Week here on the Wait a Minute Show. Let's go. Boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, Beef Week continues on the Wait a Minute Show Fantasy Football League. It's a little tough this week for one of my competitors, but it still is what it is. It's still somebody got some beef and they want to get some stuff off their chest. So in the Wait a Minute Show Fantasy Football League, I got 2 contestants here. With me is Murder Red Rum, a.k.a. John Fish, a.k.a. the Microwave, a.k.a. whatever else you all want to call him. And then I got my man Mo Cheese, a.k.a. Country Roads, here with me to talk about their Week 6 matchup against each other. What's up, fellas?
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Hey, it is what it is. So we're not gonna waste any time, man. This league is a little crazy. It's been tough. Fish, you right now you don't got a W yet. And
Taken.
And I don't know for what. We don't do draft orders, but Mo, you are 3-2 right now, if I remember correctly. 3-2.
Yep.
So let's start this thing off as far as like how you got here. So Fish, I'll start with you. Where do you think, or what do you think has contributed to a slow start? Because this is not normal for you, for you to be winless. So what do you think has contributed to this year for your team?
Definitely, I think it was bad management by me. You know what? The worst part about it is this was the first year I actually started using that optimize button.
Ooh.
And it hasn't really worked out for me. I was talking to Cheese earlier, and I was like, yo, I lost 5 games, but at least 3 of them I was favored. You know what I mean? And yet I still lose. So I think using the optimize button was bad management for me. Yet I don't even know if I might just go ahead and use it again. I don't know what's going on. Like, and then also, it's been a couple players that's been disappointing and all that stuff too. So you got the combination of those 2 things, and yet I'm winless, and I'm going against somebody who's 3-2. Yeah.
And speaking of 3-2,
good luck.
Yes, Mo Cheese, Country Roads. How have you gotten to this mark, sir? And welcome back to the league, because Mo Cheese was in this league, and he's back for a second time round.
I appreciate the welcome back. To be honest with you, I think I've stunned a lot of people. I don't think, much like Microwave, he was favored in most of his matchups. I don't think I've been favored in a matchup yet until until this week. Major letdown week 2 versus Dollars and Cents. Last week, major letdown from Jared Goff, although I don't know if Jared Goff would have just won me the game alone, but he only scored 3.8 points, 4 points. So major letdown from him. But other than that, I think I surprised a lot of teams in regards to the record, because the record really could be 1 win and 4 losses. But hey, we here now.
Win is a win. You're right. Got to take it any way that you can get it. So I know this is beef week, but let's be nice a little bit here. Looking at your opponent's team, and Mo, I'm going to start with you. Looking at your opponent's team, give credit what credit is due. What's one player you're looking at this week like, I don't need to see him. I don't want none of that. Hopefully he have a bad game.
Can I be frank?
You can be Frank, Will, Paul, whoever.
Okay, so I'll be Frank. Speaking of the opinion from Frank, have you ever seen a team come out and immediately get in winning formation?
No,
Like they immediately go into victory formation. Has that ever been seen before?
not that I know of.
I think this will be the first time you see it. We immediately coming out going into victory formation this week. If if you're pulling my leg and I just have to name a player on Microwave's team,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull just a little bit.
I guess the fact that he has Matthew Stafford and the Rams are playing against Carolina is a bit concerning because he could double up on some points. And he also has Robinson for Jacksonville, and they're playing against Indianapolis, which we know Indianapolis is going to turn the ball over at least 2 times. Well, specifically, Matt Ryan is going to turn the ball over at least 2 times. So I see them having a lot of opportunity on offense, but that's the buck stops there.
Buck stops there. Matty Stafford. Gotcha. All right, Fish. Who's on most team you looking at?
Well, if I gotta pick one, it's got to be Saquon.
Yeah.
I think
that's a nice one.
I mean, you also have Gabe Davis, but the reason I would go with Saquon if I had to choose one is because he's been consistent this year. So far, this has been his best year as a pro, and his rookie year was actually a great year for him too. Mm-hmm. So being that this is his best year so far, he's leading the league in rushing, and he's more likely to take one deep or get the bonus points for 40-yard touchdown. You know what I mean? Versus Gabe Davis, who 1 week he gonna go off for 3 touchdowns. Next week he might get you 2 catches.
Yeah, he's up, down, up, down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and speaking of down, disappointments, right? We get into this thing, and obviously we don't get into it thinking we're gonna pick someone that's just horrible or that's been a disappointment, but it happens. It's just the nature of the business when it comes to fantasy football. So, Fish, on your team, who's been the biggest disappointment to you so far?
I tell you what, I will trade you Allen Robinson for a bag of Skittles as long as you as long as you bubble wrap the Skittles. As long as you bubble wrap the Skittles and you send it to my crib, you can have Allen Robinson for free.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, if you got 2 kickers, give me one of them.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was. Oh my gosh, I was on the Allen Robinson train. I was just like, this dude is about to show out, and all he has been is out. So, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
He did the what's my man from he played on Seattle. Got the bag, and then Rashard Lewis. Is it Rashard Lewis in the NBA? Got that big contract, and he just showed up to work, but didn't do no work.
I don't know. Was it Rashard? You know what? I don't know. I'll take.
Tall dude, shoot. He played for Seattle.
If that's
played
you
for Orlando.
Yeah, you're thinking of Rashard. You're thinking of Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis.
Okay. All right. Mo, you got any disappointments on your team? You over there in victory formation?
Yeah. Even though we in victory formation, it's the tight end position in general. But just after doing some, research, what I'm finding out, honestly, if you don't have Travis Kelce, I think there's one other tight end that's out there that may be scoring points.
Mark Andrews.
Outside of 2, it's only 2 tight ends that have been consistent in the league. So I would say the tight end position in general. If I had to go away from the tight end position, I would probably say Jared Jeudy. I thought Jared Jeudy was probably going to have more of a breakout year this year, seeing as though he has a number 1 wide receiver playing alongside him. Then you get Russell Wilson, but we've seen, we've seen the problems in Denver. I don't want to blame it on Russell Wilson. I don't know whether it's Russell Wilson play calling, the coach. Like it's a scope of issues. So Russell Wilson's lack of being able to throw the ball and Jared Judy's lack of production has been somewhat surprising.
I told Fish, them potholes in Denver is different than they are in Seattle. So when you're trying to ride, it is a little bumpy, So maybe he'll figure it out. But yeah, I thought him and Sutton, I thought they were going to be a nasty combination, but.
Wilson is literally that person. I know this is the segment you questioning us, but I got a question for you. Is it time to cut bait on Winston and Russell Wilson?
No, not yet.
Been hurt.
Not yet.
And you just paid Russell Wilson $250 million.
It's still early.
I ain't paying him nothing but a draft pick on fantasy football.
Yeah, it's still early. You gotta.
Oh, you mean fantasy wise?
Yeah. You gotta hold on to him. But you gotta have a quality backup.
Try to trade him.
Yeah, when he had one good game, trade him. You're right about that. Right about that. So I'm gonna let you toot your own horn, Mr. Cheese. Tell me why you will be victorious this week against one Murder Red Room.
Strangely enough, we're talking about fantasy football, but I can equate this to real football. We got a power running game between Dalvin Cook and Saquon Barkley at the running back positions, and then we got a number one wide receiver in Pittman. I can just be honest. What I'm seeing against Microwave, his best player, the player I would have been afraid of, Devontae Adams, is on a bye. He got a lot of questionable players, and I don't see the matchup as being a good matchup, especially not this week in particular.
It's going to be tough, Fish, but it is possible. As KG said, anything is possible! Whatever he'd be saying after they won the championship. Yeah. So anything is possible, sir. Go ahead. Tell us why you winning this week.
All right. I'm going to win this week because our backs are against the wall. You know what I'm saying? We haven't been getting blown out. However, we've been losing these games. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we the Detroit Lions. We going to get up. We going to bite a kneecap. And you know what I'm saying? And then when they knock us back down, we going to get up. We going to bite another kneecap off. You never know what happens, right? Injuries come into play, and you have star players that end up having duds. So I'm predicting Mo, because I don't like to predict injuries. I'm predicting Mo is going to have two of his players that underperform, and I'll have two of my players when my roster is all said and done. I know the ins and outs. I'm going to go try to pick me some people up and see what's going on. And I'll have me a couple players that overperform, and that might be the difference in the game.
You could have left my Lions out of that, but
Jelani, can I point out
what
something?
You mean? I got a Mon-Ra St. Brown in like 4 leagues.
I know, but no, you did the biting and all that stuff. But yeah, go ahead.
Listen,
can I point out something for Microwave?
It sounded bad in the initial press conference, just like it didn't sound as bad as Nick Sirianni. But look at it now, man. Hey, listen, they don't get blown. I mean, they got one blowout, but it really doesn't happen like that no more. Them boys play hard.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to correct you on something, Microwave. You started off by saying we haven't gotten blown out. In all actuality, we're now in week 6. Out of the 5 losses that you have, 3 of those losses have come by more than 20 points, sir. You have been getting blown out.
This man, who needs enemies when you got friends like this? So.
Why you let the facts mess up a good story? and I almost said a different word too.
So, well, hey, you know what? Here's your opportunity right here, Fish, because we at that point, we at the end, but I'm gonna give you 60 seconds max. You don't have to use all of it if you don't need it, but 60 seconds to trash talk and say whatever it is that you want to say to your opponent for beef week, for week 6, starting now.
In the words, I think it was of Buck Nasty from the Dave Chappelle show, I hope all the bad things in life happen to your team and nobody else's but your team. I hope everyone has a dud. I hope someone gets into a fight and gets thrown out of the game. I hope all the bad things in life happen to your team other than injuries and your team alone, unless it's a sprained ankle where it's only a week or two.
Yeah, yeah. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your stinking guts.
I hate your guts. I started to go there. Yeah, I started to go there, but you've been being nice to me today, JB, so I left you alone.
Okay, you know what? I appreciate that. So, Mr. Cheese, you've already declared the victory, but declare the trash talk. You got 60 seconds starting now.
Microwave, even though you work as a undercover police officer on New York Undercover.
Oh, Officer Ricky! What?
He called me Malik.
Even though you have starred in Star Trek as well as Reading Rainbow as a host, I would just like you to know, even though these are some of my favorite shows, I will have absolutely zero mercy on you this week. Look, Matthew Stafford, UGA player. Guess what? Nobody cares. Joe Mixon. Who even knows Jay Robinson's first name that plays for Jacksonville? T. Higgins, we know who he is, but he won't do anything. Again, Devontae Adams is on a bye. Your hopes and dreams went out the windows when the bye week was set, and then you had the matchup against me. So unfortunately, bro, your week won't come. Your win won't come this week.
Time.
I will buy you a drink.
Wow. That was a little intense. I mean,
it was. I like that.
Well,
but you know, if he loses, he's definitely getting a Cincinnati award.
Oh yeah. But that's why they play the game. So it's going down this week 6 in the Wait a Minute Show Fantasy Football League. Murder Red Run versus Country Roads Experience. Man, hey gentlemen, good luck this week. We'll see what happens. I need to keep a win. I got Reggie this week. It seemed like I always have trouble beating him. So we see if I can pull out a win as well, because I need to keep Mo off my tail. And we'll holler at y'all next time, man. Appreciate you for coming on, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you for having us, bro.
So there you have it. Beef week for week 6. Murder Red Rum and Country Roads Experience. So we'll get some other people on here for some other weeks so they can get some stuff off their chest. Kind of disrespectful by Country Roads Experience, but I guess that's why they call it a beef. So we're going to take a break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about Westbrook and Tua. And I got a big L award for y'all, so you don't want to miss it. It's the Wait a Minute Show. Again, we'll be back after some words. Lopan, go to the break.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkincolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkincolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drinking Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it!
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Indeed, Lopan. Indeed. So we got a Big L award. We'll get to that in just a moment, but we got some quick hitters that we're going to cover before we get to that. So before I do that, make sure, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, man, for the YouTube channel. Just go to thewaitaminuteshow.com. If you have not found out how to get to the YouTube channel, you should, because you're on it. But to share with someone, just tell them, thewaitaminuteshow.com. So, Russell Westbrook, right? So this is this experiment that Coach Darvingham is putting in the preseason just to see how it works. And they were talking about, and actually they did have Russ come off the bench and instead of starting. And the question is, how is this going to work out? Now, there's video out there. It seems like Russ is, disinterested, but I'm not even going to say that. It's more about how will it work. Now, Darvingham, look, I love Darvingham, man. I love him. Michigan guy, and I'm wishing all the success. I don't know how this is going to work out with Russ coming off. Now, it makes sense because you have someone who is super uber talented, and then you have them with the second unit taking on second unit. So you're looking at it as still having a starter taking on second unit guys and can continue the momentum. I just don't know if Russ is going to fully, buy into this, because I don't know if Russ has ever came off the bench anywhere at any time. And that's a transition, and that's an adjustment that has to be made, and how you go about it. So if there is early success, maybe it works out. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it will be a transition and it will be an adjustment. A lot of guys go through this. So I don't want people, if it's not just playing out exactly how you think it should, or how, they planned it out, don't start putting it on Russ immediately and just saying, oh, is Russ. A lot of guys have went through this where you're this type of player and they're being asked to do this, and then that role takes a step back, and that's hard because you're used to doing things a certain way. So it's an experiment. We'll see how it works for the team. We don't know. But I do think that's going to be a hard transition. So we'll see if it works out. Tua Tagovailoa, he is now looking to be cleared pretty soon if he hasn't already, but he's not going to play this week. Everyone is expecting him to play week 7. So the reason I bring this up is because when week 7 comes, there's going to be a lot of eyes on that game. There's going to be a lot of attention that they're going to pay to Tua just on how he plays. We know all the concussion and all the investigations. People got fired over it. And so many other things happened because of the Tua concussion that he suffered in that Thursday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So coming into this, there's extra precautions that have been taken. People have talked about him being out for the entire year. I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't think no one would have held out a player at this point unless just the magnitude was well over and beyond. But he's going to be back. There's going to be, eyes and lights, on that situation. I hope everything works out for Tua and everything, because from the outside looking in, the guy seems to really be a good guy, and the guy seems to, deserve to have good things, happen to him. So this thing with Tua, week 7 will tell more. So a lot of eyes are going to be on it. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mocha Bellas, one of my favorite listeners and listeners, watchers, subscribers, one of my favorite folks. It's time for her favorite portion of the show, where we hand out the Big L Award.
And you are one pathetic loser.
Loser!
Let's go.
We're gonna see the best collection of losers this park's seen for many a year.
You made me feel like a loser! Loser!
La loser.
Le who? The her.
So, ladies and gentlemen, someone's going to take a Big L Award. And look, I have told people time and time again, when I hand this thing out, it is unbiased, right? I have given myself the Big L Award. I have given Lopan the Big L Award. I have even given family members the Big L Award, which I paid dearly for doing that. But I don't play any favorites here. I call it like I see it, and I'm going to do the same thing. So everybody knows I'm from the state of Michigan, right? Love me some Michigan Wolverines, man. Love them. Love me some Tom Brady, T. Brizzle. Yeah, it was tough, hey, him being in New England and all that stuff, but love me some Brady, right? I have not been biased when it comes to Brady. I have been fair in the past, and I'm going to be fair in the present. So the reason that Tom Brady is getting a Big L award is because of an action of last week, playing against the Atlanta Falcons. It's third down. Falcons goal on the rush. Grady Jarrett comes off the line. He tackles Tom Brady, and which all that craziness happened about roughing the passer, which was some malarkey. But as Grady Jarrett was tackling Tom Brady like kick his feet up, like, in frustration and everything. Now, I didn't get him last time because the week before or the 2 weeks before, he was over there beating up on tablets, which he had done before. He wasn't supposed to be doing again. Then he beat up on the tablets. Now he's kicking his leg around and everything. Tom, I don't know what's going on, but you got some juice. But the juice is up here at the top. You can't overflow the juice, and you can't be out there kicking folks. Now, he's just got fined for it. I'm glad the NFL did that. But what if he had to kick Grady in the head or something like that? Or kick somebody else in the head? You got your cleats, up and everything. That's dangerous, Tom. That's dangerous, all right? You get away with stuff. I know you get away with stuff because you are the GOAT when it comes to quarterbacks, all right? I get that. You get away with stuff, and I understand that. But you got to be careful. Got to be careful with all the stuff. Kicking folks is not good, all right? I love me some Tom Brizzle, T. Brizzle, Tom Brady, all of that, right? But I got to be fair. If I've given myself the Big L award, and I've even given it to my family, then I got to give it to you. God, dog it, Tom! Indeed. As well, Lopez. Yes. Oh, I hate giving Tom Brady no, I don't. Because I'm fair. If I give it to myself, I can give it to anybody. Tom, stop kicking and doing high kicks like you Booker T in the WWE. Those high kicks, no, that doesn't work in the NFL, right? It doesn't. So, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, another episode of the Wait a Minute Show. Again, subscribe, like, comment, turn on those notifications, man, so you know every time we post a podcast. So I want to thank Murder Rap Rum, Country Roads Experience for coming on for Beef Week. Hopefully y'all enjoyed Beef Week, man. We're going to keep bringing that to y'all because somebody got some beef. And maybe somebody may have beef with me. We'll find out. But I'll holler at y'all later, man. Do the thing that you do. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And I'll holler at y'all later. So for your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, two things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at you later. Lopan, get me out of here.